Venus Williams starts off this third round match from the north end inside Arthur Ashe Stadium.
And already a fist pump from Sara Errani. Seems like she's come out ready to play. She knows it's going to be a tough match.
Well, doubly tough, too. It's not enough to just be facing Venus Williams, who's won this event twice over the course of her career. But there will probably be a slant in the cheering from the stands here in the American Slam that will be barracking, as they say, for Venus.
Not the start that Venus's coach, David Witt, was hoping for. I talked to him earlier today. He said she's going to have to serve well, start off the match strong. A little bit shakier start than he was hoping for.
And the aggressive pressure from Venus to fend off one break point. She was coming in, always moving forward. Nice to get Errani back on her heels, try to push her back beyond the baseline where Errani likes to camp out. But she can't fend off break point number 2. And so it's done. The 13 seed gets the upper hand early with a break in the opening 2 minutes.
Great first game by Sara Errani there. Really consistent. To me, it seemed like that she was forcing Venus to go for a little bit more. And Venus, first, it's only the first game, but Venus, to me, overplaying just a little bit.
That is the hallmark of Errani's career, though, isn't it? Just consistency. She doesn't commit a lot of errors. She doesn't try to force too much. She can be creative with the racket. There's no doubt about that. But she's not the type of player who goes for flash over substance. And she just manages herself so well and hands Venus an opening break. I'm still thinking, I've been working some of the Monfils match earlier today, and what a contrast in style that is from Gael's mentality to that of a player like Errani. Picks her target, finds the pass, and a brilliant start for 5 of the first 6 points.
Great approach shot by Venus. Good volley to pick that up, but Errani just has so much time to hit that open forehand down the line passing shot.
We'd be remiss, though, as much as we're praising what Errani's able to do, and she is consistent. She's just putting the ball where she wants to, not going for too much. Venus has been a bit errant.
Errani doing a good job right now of staying aggressive when she has that opportunity. Any short ball she's getting right now, she's really just stepping up and taking a little bit more risk than she normally does, and that's what she needs to do.
Venus's return goes long. She took a step forward, but elects not to challenge. And Sara Errani with both games to start off the match. When I say that Venus has been errant, well, what backs that up? I'm not just making that up, although, Jill, I know you think sometimes I just sort of pull this stuff esoterically out of the air. 9 points played. Venus has 5 errors. Far too many gifts early, and it's causing Venus to have to play from behind. In the opening round against Kimiko Date-Crum, that first set was pretty dismal, just as this one has started for Venus, though it is very early. She hit just 7 winners to 19 unforced errors in that set, which she lost 6-2. But in the next 2 sets, she really turned things around momentum-wise. She hit 10 winners, did commit 17 unforced errors, but that's in those 2 sets combined. That helped to overcome the deficit and put her into the second round against the qualifier, Basinski. Against Tamea, she certainly really improved that output of winner to error ratio. She hit 20 winners to just 19 unforced errors for the match. That's +1, Jill. It's good
Absolutely.
math, huh?
And Venus's coach David Witt again said to me today that, you know, she made the first round much harder than she needed to. She made it more difficult than she needed to. It was because of those unforced errors. She started the match with so many, but that's her style. She's either going to make it or miss it because of her power game. But she did cut back on those errors in the second set. In the second match.
Yeah, and she also did not drop serve against Basinski, so that helped her cause as well. When her serve is working, that really informs her game. Free points come easily to Venus when she's on. Her second double fault evens the tally in this third game. So we'll see if it's just a slow start by Venus or if Errani can really propel herself to some serious momentum. A second break here for the Italian would certainly put her in good stead.
Third double fault for Venus now.
The fans trying to get behind Venus, see if they can motivate her, find a way to save this break point. Smart play. Errani was the one playing good defense, and then she took the offensive move, the drop shot, and put away. And just like that, Venus Williams in a love 3 hole to the 13 seed from Italy. 19 seed Venus Williams has certainly issued herself a bit of a challenge against the 13 seed Sara Errani. Broken twice already as the Italian serves 3-love opening set inside Arthur Ashe Stadium. And a bit of the blaster coming out from Venus. She's probably a bit frustrated, Joe Kravis, with the way she started. In the first 15 points of this match, she committed 8 unforced errors.
And that's the first time I've really seen her step up and hit and be a little bit more aggressive on this shot. She's really just made too many unforced errors in the beginning of this match, but credit to Errani. Errani just only the second unforced error from her there, but really playing a clean match so far.
Yeah, that's not to take anything away from what Sara has been able to do, those 8 errors in the first 15 points, but for Venus. She knows that she can't afford to fall behind as much as she did against Kimiko Date-Krum in the opening round. But as we discussed at the lead up to this match, a lot of the match hinges on Venus's productivity in the positive. Winners to errors ratio has to be a bit higher. Right now it's -8. For Sara, she is just the consistent one.
Again, Errani doing a great job of stepping up into the court when she sees the opportunity. And you're right, this match is on Venus's racket. We're either going to see unforced errors, or she's got to learn to be a little bit more patient and wait for the right opportunity to take control of these points.
Bad time for a first double fault, just as Venus is starting to find her range and try to shift the momentum. Errani faltering to give Venus her first break point.
Just bad luck for Venus on that point. She played a great point, really stepped up on the return, which she needs to do against Errani. Errani throwing in a 71-mile-an-hour first serve. Venus is definitely going to have to be a little bit more aggressive on her returns.
And Errani on the south end having a little bit more difficulty with her toss. A couple times she's had to pause with the ball mid-flight. And Williams a bit long with the forehand once again. It's that high risk, high reward if you're on. But if it's not, well, the risk can really bite you. Venus, as of yet, really hasn't found the measure of the court. And Errani withstands the threat from Williams, saves break point. Big change in the scoreboard. Instead of 3-1, the Italian out in front 4-love. Well, don't forget, folks, usopen.org. Well, why would you care about usopen.org? It's only the home for point-by-point live scoring and real-time stats and draws. It is the official tournament site for the US Open, usopen.org. Following her second round win over Baczynski, Venus was asked what she thought she would have to do against Errani, a woman she has beaten 3 consecutive times in as many meetings, taking all 6 sets decidedly. Venus knows exactly what she has to do, and I quote, she said, just be focused, because she's so focused. Everything she does well on the court, it's clear because she's a great singles player and a doubles player. Every time I played her, I've had to be focused on every single point, because she does not let up, no matter what the score is. She's down 5-love, 40-love, never won a game in a match. She is still there to win the match. That's my main thing, to stay focused and play my game. End quote, Venus Williams. Well, she's going to have to really rely on some supreme focus now, isn't she? No way she could have foreseen that she would be in a double break hole this early in the opening set.
And she is playing her game right now, and you're absolutely right, Kevin. There is a fine line between being aggressive and trying to be patient. But a lot of times if you have an opportunity, for example, against Errani's serve that's a little bit slower. It's not a heavy, fast serve. She can take some risks a little bit and find that range. That's how you find your range, is to go for it a little bit more, and then you learn to put a little bit more spin on the ball if it's flying a little bit on you. But I think you have to take some chances, and then you can really find your range about how to step up and find your rhythm again.
Well, the rhythm is with Errani. And Venus is desperate for a hold here, because the Italian, she gets to 5-love, it's almost assured she's going to take the set at love. She's only lost 3 points on serve thus far. Oh, just missing the mark. Really tried to go up and over the back shoulder of Williams, and Errani's not so sure the call's correct. We'll have our first challenge, what we like to call the chase review. Call stands. Errani loses 1 of her 3 challenges in the set, and Venus poised to finally get herself on the scoreboard.
Not just very uncharacteristic of Venus there. A little bit slow moving off the serve. I think she was surprised that one came back. I think she just got caught a little bit. It was a little bit higher. Came up higher on her body a little bit too much. Oh. Great job by Venus there. Errani played a great point. It's a high quality. Errani keeping the ball, using a lot of the court there, but Venus just overpowering her on that particular point. Venus at 15 unforced errors now, just giving a little bit away. Too many easy points she's giving away to Errani right now.
Yeah, Errani 21 points in the set. 15 of them have come off miscues from Venus Williams' racket. And now Errani in great position to add more insurance to her lead, already having broken twice. Venus 4 of 13 on second serves in this set. Have to put forth the second offering to Errani. As she was moving forward, Venus's response sails long, but a great example from Errani where when she chooses to be aggressive, able to get great depth on the shot, and her body was moving towards the middle of the court. Desired result comes either way, and she has another chance to break for 5-love. And there it is, a third break of Venus Williams. Well, a bit of shock, a bit of awe, a lot of calm nerves in the Errani camp, and you can understand why she has played her game to perfection, but Venus Williams has not. This has not been a sharp performance, and she's in danger of losing the opening set for the second time in 3 rounds. Sara Errani remembers very well 2 years ago in Cincinnati. The last time these two plays, she was shut out in the second set, bageled by Venus Williams. She serves to return the favor in New York City.
Now, Errani really just outplaying Venus right now. I mean, Venus does have 16 unforced errors, but Errani playing really well, really consistent. Even though she's the higher seed, I feel like she has less pressure on her and is just swinging away. Wow. You don't see that very often from Venus.
Venus has lost a set at Love this year, just once. It came against Barbara Zalavova-Strycova of the Czech Republic. That was in Charleston in the opening round, but Venus won that match 6-3, Love 6, 7-5. But Errani is showing a lot of belief, and she's actually starting to inject their ground strokes a little bit more pace too, realizing that Venus is having difficulty finding the measure of the court. I mean, for Errani, it seems as if she's hitting into a football pitch, and for Venus, she seems to be aiming towards a thimble.
And Errani doesn't look affected by Venus's pace at all right now. She's really feeling comfortable out there.
Triple set point for the 13 seed. Well, there you go. That'll get the crowd going. Just her third winner of the match, if you can believe it, through the 39 points played. That's up against 18 unforced errors. So 1 set point saved.
Now Venus feels pretty free, 5-love down. I feel like if she could have just started a match off like this, things would have gone much different in the first few games. But she's finding her rhythm.
But finding a rhythm too late. Sara Errani has finally taken a set off Venus Williams in now their 4th meeting. Well, she's done it before. Venus Williams was down a set in their opening round to Kimiko Date-Krum. Granted, it wasn't 6-love, but she did find a way to come back and win that match. The stakes have been risen further because we're talking about a semifinalist at this event 2 years ago. Former top 10 player Sara Errani back to return to start set number 2 as Venus will try to regroup and overcome her own misfortunes. 18 unforced errors amongst 28 points for Errani in that set. That is gift wrapping it and presenting it with a big bow.
And also Venus in the first set, just a 33% first serve percentage. That hurt her a lot. She relies on that serve so much.
Yeah, you're spot on there. It's worth revisiting that. Venus only got her first serve in the opening set 7 times. had to go to 16-second serves. When she's not effective with her serve, well, it makes things very difficult. Broken all 3 times she stepped to the line. And Errani is very comfortable in sitting back and just playing consistently between the lines and allowing Venus to unravel. So we'll see what Williams has in store for a comeback, or if Errani can keep her at bay. Encouraging start already, but it's only been 2 points.
And that's what's been happening to Venus in this match so far. She comes together with a couple good points, but then just gives too many free points with unforced errors right away. She lets Errani right back into the game. And Errani just playing such great defensive play right now. She's really coming up with some great shots. Moves into the court really well. Just freezes Venus on that forehand.
That's usually a shot. I'd say 8 out of 10 times that Errani will be able to execute. I think she saw Venus starting to make her move towards the net and maybe try to cut a little too fine.
You're right. I feel like she almost decided at the last minute to go for that shot. And she did see Venus moving forward. Smart play by Venus to take that shot away from her.
Stand by for the roar if Venus can get on the board. Well, it was delayed for a moment. They weren't quite sure if the call was out, but there's the fan support for Venus. Yes, they're excited because the 2-time champion at her home major is finally on the scoreboard and has a hold of serve. Let's take a look back at the opening set numbers, Jill, and really you can't avoid it. That 18 is almost glaring in neon. All those unforced errors, all those points just given away.
And neither one of them have that many high on the winners list, but both have 4 winners. Venus definitely struggling with the first serve percentage, only at 30%. That's really hurting her, especially 3 double faults. And again, like you mentioned, the 18 unforced errors. You can see why it's been such a one-sided first set.
So hands Venus her 2nd shutout set of the year. In this one, the stakes are much higher because in Charleston, Venus had already taken the opening set off Zalavova-Stritsova and would prevail to win that match, but maybe she'll do so here as well. Sara Errani serving to try to play catch-up in this 2nd set, as she will have to do. For a player who does play high-risk, high-reward tennis, such as a Sharapova as well as Venus, and even sister Serena plays in that realm, what are the first steps towards when you're having a day like today, when things just aren't going right? What adjustments do you make to try to rein in your game and avoid giving away all those points?
I think a lot of the adjustments are going to have to come mentally from Venus right now because she knows she has the game that can overpower Errani. She's beat her 3 times pretty easily in the past. So she's going to have to, like she said in her interview, get that focus back. She hasn't been focused in the first set, especially with all the unforced errors. So she needs to regroup and really just stay focused on every point and just take 1 point at a time.
You mentioned you had a conversation with the man we just saw, Envision, David Witt, prior to the match, and talking about how Venus goes about preparing for matches and what we could expect today. Also acts as hitting partner for Venus. Father Richard still very instrumental in Venus's tennis career as a coach. Witt has to work in Congress with Richard, as well as Orsine Price, Venus's mother. much experience as Venus has, it's almost that coaching by committee aspect to it, but it's really up to Venus herself how she goes about making things work on the court. Errani in trouble for the first time. Did face a break point in the opening set, I should say that, but here she finds herself in danger of falling behind. Where she finds herself for the first time today. Even if she had been broken in that opening set, she still had a 3-love lead. This time it is Venus who says, what first set? What are you talking about, Bagel? I don't remember that set at all. 2-love.
And that's what you want to do. You want to come out with a fresh start in the second set, especially after losing a first set 6-love, or if you lose it easily 6-1, 6-2. You want to come out and just mentally regroup, and she seems to have done that so far. That was an important game for Errani to win, and unfortunately for her, now Venus is going to just get stronger and stronger from this point on.
By the way, we do encourage you to, if you wanna, speak to Joe Kravis or myself and ask a question about this match or anything pertaining to the U.S. Open. We'll do our best to get to it. You know how to reach us? Well, you can't call us, but go ahead and hit up Twitter at US Optimum 2014. We've got our phones off, you know, not even on vibrate. They're turned off, so don't bother that way. But we are accepting Twitter questions at US Optimum 2014. Tell us where you're viewing, what your question is, or your comment about Venus, Errani, how things are unfolding.
I should say you get that sense that Venus is going to get stronger and stronger. Obviously, you don't know for sure, but that's what the Williams have proven in the past, both Venus and Serena, is when they get down in a situation, they do tend to find themselves a little bit and put that pressure on you in the second set. Great depth from Venus on that ball, really pushing Errani back. Those were the type of balls she was missing in the first set, but she's really found her range a little bit better.
Yeah, I mentioned it was like trying to hit into a thimble in the opening set for Venus, while Errani enjoyed a football pitch on the other side. It seems as if the court is expanding a bit for her. Truth be told, she's probably just made some adjustments, trying not to hit for the line so much, but give herself a bit of margin. Seems to be working.
Wow, great shot by Errani. She was behind that point the whole time, really off her back foot. But that's what she does really well. She finds the court in tough situations like that when she's being pushed back. She's such a great defensive player.
Yeah, and the strength to be able to muscle that down the line, get it past Venus, impressive. Some of your Twitter questions and comments coming in. We've got a couple good ones. Don't forget to tell us where you're viewing. What you think of how this match is unfolding. Venus trying to make that push towards a 3-love start to match the beginning in the opening set by Errani. Dr. Steven Stephen Horvitz, I think, is asking, have you ever seen a pro match go love 6-6, love 6, or any sort of combination? We have seen double bagel shutout sets. Remember, Maria Sharapova a couple years ago ran through a couple of rounds doing so. But no, don't think we've seen one with complete 3 bagel sets. We're heading towards 2, though, as Venus Williams, new look for the 19th seed in set number 2. Back in New York City, and for Sara Errani, she was able to blank Venus Williams in the opening set. She herself has been unable to find her way to a game here in the second set. Even if she is returned a bagel, which, by the way, would be a virtual 3-set love, love, and love match. Because going back to their last meeting in Cincinnati, Williams won the second set in a straight sets victory, 6-love. Still trying to find out for Dr. David Horvitz if there has been a women's match, best of 3 sets, that has gone back and forth, love, love, and love. But don't forget that Sara Errani, well, she suffered the indignity, that match against Yaroslava Shvedova back in 2012 at Wimbledon. Oh boy.
That would be a tough one to recover from, I think.
Yeah, the wrong side of a golden set indeed. Shvedova was able to take it 6-love, winning all the points in the set. Didn't lose a single one to Errani. Won that match 6-love, 6-4. You do have to recognize Errani bounced back from that, though, in the next major. She was able to get to the semifinals of the U.S. Open for the first time, so it didn't have a lingering effect.
That is an incredible recovery. That's amazing to get over a match like that and to come out and get to the semifinals. It's just mentally tough.
And Venus is being unforgiving. Little insurance break to add a little salt to the wound after she suffered the embarrassment of the opening set.
And this is a good example of a quick recovery from Venus in this point. Losing the first at 6-love, being able to sit on the changeover and regroup a little bit, try and start fresh.
Deuce in this fourth game, and Sara Errani saving a couple of break points to avoid falling behind, at least for the moment, 4-love in this second set after she handed Venus Williams a bagel set in the first frame. This has really been an increase in the productivity out of Venus Williams, and Sara Errani has just been overwhelmed. There's a prime example. That's a shot that Venus Williams would have missed in the opening set, committing one of her 18 unforced errors. Not so here in the second.
She wasn't really going after that second serve. Errani, first serve, her average first serve speed is around 75, 80 miles an hour, and not until up until this point in the match has Venus taken advantage of that.
And Williams has her bid for a return of the favor well in hand. 4-love start. As the 19 seed tries to delight the fans here. Can't believe how things have turned around, but let's give you an example why. In the opening set, Sara Errani, 4 winners, 7 unforced errors. For Venus Williams, well, she had 4 winners, but 18 unforced errors. Well, the turnaround has been dramatic. That's minus 14 in that productivity detail of winners to unforced errors for Williams. Well, now she's +3 in this set. 7 winners and just 4 errors committed. Errani, mind you, has been consistent. She's matched her winner output from the opening set. Actually, that now gives her 5. And And she has 6 errors. But it really has been. We said it from the outset, Jill, that Venus is the one who's going to dictate how this match goes.
Well, that's exactly what I was just going to say, and the numbers prove it, what you just said. I mean, the numbers definitely show that Venus is the one that's either going to win this match or lose this match. Errani is the more consistent player, but Venus definitely the more power hitter and has the tools to overpower Errani. Get the sense that Venus is just stepping it up a little bit in this game. Couple great first serves, and then just an easy put away here. Still another game point for Venus.
Errani trying to put up a fight. Fans want to see back-to-back bagels. They have been barracking behind Venus since the opening 2 games, trying to get her to show some life, and she is now. And missing the mark allows Errani a bit of breathing room here in this 5th game.
Not a bad miss from Venus there. You can definitely get the sense that she's starting to feel it a little bit more. She's a little bit more consistent. She swung out on that last ball. Didn't miss it by much, but she definitely looked more comfortable.
Well, that's also a telling sign that Venus is firmly engaged. We saw a couple times in the opening set when she moved right into position like that and netted the overhead.
That's right. This one was an overhead. The one she got confused on before and she missed was the easy backhand swing volley, but this time smart move for her to take the overhead. She moves around it and just an easy put away.
We'll have our first challenge from Venus Williams. Allison Hughes says Venus disagrees with the out call. And the Chase Review says the out call was correct.
Good challenge. That one's really close. Again, towards the end of the set. Good time to challenge. That's just too good from Venus. She's doing a better job this set of getting her feet into position, really making sure she turns on that ball Just really takes her time.
Well, Venus remembers handing Errani a love set in Cincinnati. Sara gets the better of her in the first set, but the favor about to be returned in New York.
This is why Venus has so many championships under her belt, because she finds a way, even if she's not feeling great in the first set. Those champions tend to find a way to adjust their game, try and regroup, get more mentally focused. So for a type of player like Venus Williams, it's no surprise that she's been able to find herself and come back in the second set.
Remarkably, Sara Errani is now serving to try to avoid being bageled in 2 of the last 3 sets she has played against Venus Williams.
Another great example. Errani's serve, still only 66 miles an hour on that second serve. She's going to have to go for a little bit more, be a little bit more risky, or try and go serve into Venus's body a little bit more to try and jam her.
Yeah, it's been troublesome for Errani. In the opening set, she served reasonably well by all accounts, even though Venus Williams, again, 18 gifts as far as unforced errors, but in this set, 6 of 16 from the line. She's gotten her first serve in 88% of the time, but only won 6 of those points. Sara Errani in difficult waters. And another return winner for Venus. A meter inside the baseline, just rips the backhand. And yes, we're 2 points away. It is remarkable if you think about it. And looking at the scoreline on the screen, Jill, for Errani to be trying to serve her way out of being bageled for the second time amongst the last 3 sets these two have played. It's almost unfathomable. But it was. Venus winning 6-3, 6-love in Cincinnati 2 years ago, and look at her now. Shut out in the opening set. Here comes the 19 seed. Another big, powerful forehand setting up the bagel second set. And it's done. 3 breaks of Venus in the opening set, but she breaks 3 times in set number 2. 1 set to decide who moves on to the round of 16. Back in New York City, Arthur Ashe Stadium, set number 3 to decide who moves through to the round of 16. Venus Williams or Sara Errani to face the winner of either the 2 seeds, Simona Halep or Mariana Lucic-Baroni of Croatia, qualifier. That match to take place later. A real discrepancy in the unforced error tally for Venus Williams from set 1 to set 2. They each blank each other in respective sets, so let's see how things go in the third. Williams to start the proceedings.
Venus just coming out to a really good start here. She did play good for the first point despite losing it, but you definitely get the sense that she's in the control of the match again, like we discussed earlier, but really cut down on those unforced errors in the second set, and that's why she was able to come back with that 6-0 second set win. Errani doing a good job of going toe-to-toe with Venus there. Not intimidated by her pace, but Venus is getting some great depth on her shots. It's tough to get control of those points. That was the right idea from Errani, but I think she decided just a little bit too late to go for that drop shot. Errani barely missing there. Good try, good risk to go for that shot. She was completely outside the court. She needed to go for that. It's tough to get back inside the court if you're just going to put the ball in play.
Seven consecutive games for Venus Williams as she makes a bid for another comeback from a set down, as she did in the opening round against Kimiko Date-Krum. Trying to get to the round of 16 once again here in New York City. Venus really switched the gears from what her opening set output was from set number 2. Remember, opening set, Venus 18 unforced errors.
18 unforced errors and only 8 in the second set. So really cut down on those, and that was the biggest difference. That was a huge discrepancy from the first set to the second set. So that's what cost Williams that first set, was that many unforced errors.
Yeah, 10 less unforced errors and 10 more winners.
Yep.
She only had 4 winners in the opening set. So as we've said a couple of times, at the risk of pushing the envelope with how many mentions, but it really is on Venus's racket. For Errani, her modus operandi is to try to stay consistent, stay within the lines, and hope that Venus returns to the form of the opening set. Otherwise, the same fate she suffered all 3 previous meetings will come to pass.
I also think one of the biggest differences is I just feel like Venus is moving a little bit better. You can see her setting up for the ball much better than she did in the first set, really moving her feet, taking small steps, really taking her time.
Another backhand winner for Venus on the day. She finds herself with her 7th. But let's ask the cause and effect. I'm just curious, is that a matter? It's been more than 2 years since they played each other. For Venus, did it take that long for her to get used to the pace and the rhythm of Sara Errani to be able to find where she could get into position? Or is it just a matter of she's finally made an adjustment personally and said, all right, I'm going after a little more on my shots to make sure I'm in the right place at the right time?
Personally, I think it was just an adjustment on Venus's part. I feel like Errani is playing a similar game that she's played from a couple years ago, so I think she's just gotten a little bit maybe more mentally focused and mentally tough, but her game style hasn't changed that much. So I think Venus to me just came out a little bit slow, a little bit flat, making way too many unforced errors, and I think she's found herself a little bit. She's moving better, and she's gotten more mentally focused in the second and third set.
So the alarm clock went off in the second set. She was sleepwalking through much of the first.
Tough miss by Venus there. She really could have gone anywhere there and just pushed it a little bit too far wide. She has the height to just bounce that overhead over Errani's head, but just tried to go for a little bit too much.
Well, we asked the question, has there ever been a WTA level or Grand Slam match that has gone 3 consecutive at-love sets? We will not have that here in New York as Sara Errani makes it 1-all, though we did have 3 consecutive bagel sets between these two, going back to their last meeting back in 2012, the round of 16 in Cincinnati. So now we settle in because both players are firmly engaged, at least to this point. Very even start, each with a hold, each with 6 points to their credit.
Great depth by Venus on that. Really pushing Errani in the backcourt. She was doing that so well in the second set, just getting good depth on her balls. Not giving Errani a chance to step into the court. What a point. Probably the best point of the match so far. Great job from both players. Such high intensity, using the whole court. Good job by Errani on this last ball, just hitting into the open court. Not trying to go for too much, but just takes that extra couple steps into the court that made the difference. Gave Venus less time to react.
Errani back in front as she enjoyed throughout the opening set. She has a 2-1 lead in set number 3. Venus Williams, Sara Errani. It's turning out to be quite an intriguing match and competitive if you take the fact that they just both smack each other down in respective sets. You see the scoreline. Errani 6-love, followed by Williams 6-love. Each of those sets around the same amount of time, about 27 minutes or so average between the two. Venus painting the line with another backhand winner.
Again, that's what Venus did so well in the second set. Really attacking Errani's serve. Errani not getting much on her serve, and in order to put pressure on her serve, Venus has to continue to do that.
A viewer has asked you, Joe Krabus, so I'm going to put the onus on you to answer this. talking about Sara Errani's service motion. It is a bit unorthodox, and it's unusual to say the least, and our viewer has asked if you could break that down. One wanted to know from Turkey if she's always served that way, or is this a little hitch in her giddy up of late?
She's always served that way as far as I've seen her play, as far as I've known her. I've never seen her try to change it to a full motion. But it is a very unorthodox looking serve, and that's part of the reason why she doesn't get much on her serve, is because there's that hitch in it. She doesn't get quite a lot of momentum off of a full swing.
Now she tried to take a big cut, did Venus. I'm not sure that was textbook technique when reaching the middle of the court. We'll take another look at it and see where it all went wrong.
I think she just got rushed a little bit. I don't think she was expecting Errani to quite get a lot on that ball and also to go right at her. I think she was expecting to maybe move to her right or left.
So
got a little bit surprised.
Tried to make the adjustment quickly and couldn't corral it. That was a close-up look at the motion of Errani, using that arm, getting it behind her head, just sort of pausing for a moment.
And I think she's gotten away with it in her career because she backs it up so well with how well she moves.
Now, once she gets the ball in play, then she feels she has a better chance to be able to engage back and forth from the ground. Venus threatening to break. Oh, and it just trickles over. Home court advantage for Venus.
A little lucky for Venus there to tie the third set at 2-all.
Yeah, a little
but
love.
she'll take it.
Little USTA love here at the U.S. Open for the two-time champion. And Errani just has to live with that fate. USOpen.org. Stay connected to the U.S. Open when you're on the go. Download the official iPad, iPhone, or Android app for the latest from the U.S. Open. USOpen.org. So back on serve in set number 3. Venus Williams competing in her 16th U.S. Open. By the way, thank you at Heart of Tears for your question about Sara Errani's serve. We don't want to keep you out, and thank you for watching all the way in Turkey. Turkey was the home of the year-end championships for the WTA the last 3 years. Istanbul, to be more exact. It was great fun going over and being able to enjoy all that Istanbul had to offer. It'll move to Singapore for the next 5 years, as women in the top 8 vying for a spot to appear there for the WTA finals.
Venus struggling with her serve already in this third set. 67% first serve. Her third double fault, that last point.
And Errani getting a nice bit of timing to get a bead on Venus's offering. Able to get some good depth, put it back at the feet of Venus. Hoping to make it back-to-back breaks to get the lead back on her side. .2:30 in the afternoon on an absolutely glorious Friday afternoon in New York City. Third set, hotly contested battle between 19 seed Venus Williams and 13 seed Sara Errani. Very evenly matched, 30 all. In the 5th game, 2 all. Errani with just 3 extra points on the day than Venus Williams, each with a bagel set in the opening 2 frames. And Errani, massive outpouring of emotion after she finds her way to break point.
And Errani giving Venus a little bit of her own medicine, really attacking Venus's second serve. Great job taking that last ball out of the air. Gives your opponent less time to react.
Oh, that's the good touch we expect from Errani when she's at the net cord. Things have turned out to be a little more fun. Because for one, it was really dismal, depending if you're Venus Williams in the opening set or Sara Errani in the second set. I mean, it just wasn't happening for either in their respective bagel sets. So, what are they going to do in set number 3? Well, they make it more fun. There's been 3 breaks of serve, though. Venus is hoping that she can make it 3 consecutive in order to get back to 3 all.
Well, it's nice to know we're not sure who's going to win this set.
Kinda
We're pretty confident who's going to win the first and second set.
Wasn't hard to pick once you got through the first 3 or 4 games, was it? Oh, that's nice. That's pretty. The backhand down the line has worked for Errani today. A couple times she's really needed to pull something out when Venus has made some aggressive moves.
And Errani, that's one of her strengths, that backhand down the line. Perfect shot to take in that situation. She saw the opening.
You see the confidence when she strikes it. She knew she hit it well. And you talk about the strengths of Errani for Venus Williams. That was textbook.
Good answer by Venus on that point. Errani aggressive on this other point, but Venus really stepping up into the court right there. And great job again, out of the air. Beautiful swing volley.
Yeah, the problem for Errani in setting up that drop shot is that Venus Williams has such a great first step into the middle of the court. She can close in so fast, and then with the balance, she can put pressure on Errani to try to go for that lob. She'd have to hit it perfect, and she didn't. 30 all.
Again, Venus taking advantage of that 66-mile-an-hour second serve. That's where she was dangerous against Errani in that second set. She really needs to keep that pressure on in this third set.
Yeah, that ball looks massive at 66 miles per hour, doesn't it? It's like throwing a beach ball down at her and saying, try and hit this.
Great job by Venus to break back. Errani started off the game really well. She looked pretty confident, but Venus put together a couple great points to even out this match.
That's what we call in the wheelhouse.
Yeah. And she was still a little off balance, but she made it work.
Yeah.
She found a way.
The preparation and just using that sort of almost rickety gait sort of swing through, she found the sweet spot of the racket. Starting to delight this crowd that thought it might be slipping away. It's not to be. 6 games evenly divided in this deciding set.
A little extra grunt there from Venus.
Almost as if to say, I'm sick of you guys being so enamored with Errani's backhand down the line. Let me give you a couple examples of what I can do.
Venus was able to get that ball a little bit up higher on Errani's backhand side, which opened up the court. A little bit ambitious by Venus there. She was so far behind the baseline trying to create that angle. And that's where sometimes she can get a little bit impatient. And then she does such a good job of recovering with such a great point. Adjusts so well after she makes that mistake and just, again, coming forward, taking that ball out of the air.
One of the more remarkable aspects of her personality in conjunction with her sister is she's so even keel all the time. Very rarely lets her emotions out.
Venus again, that's such a huge difference. See how she moved into the court there. That's what's creating less time for Errani to get ready, and then she just hits the ball in the open court.
And just continuing that thought, you know, where Serena can get so emotional, can kind of hang over a couple points. She can't quite recover straight away. Venus always so composed, so poised. And the answers that she has posed here with Errani trying to threaten in the 7th game have just been fantastic. Very businesslike. And a solid hold from the 2-time U.S. Open champion. Out in front. 3rd set. Yeah, they both picked up their level of play. There's no doubt about it. There were 2 very lopsided sets, and the numbers seem to indicate the flip-flop and why there were so many more errors than winners previously. They're starting to close the gap. Errani actually for the tournament is -3 in winners to unforced errors. That's for all 3 rounds, so she's playing remarkably consistent. You saw the -4 on the stat sheet there, and in her first 2 rounds, Sara was +1. 31 winners to 30 errors. So as expected, Errani very even keel. She's trying to represent herself very well once again after bouncing back from the disappointment of a second set bagel.
That's just too good from Venus. Really steps in. And Errani, really a tough decision for me on that, going right into Venus's strength on that backhand. I think she was trying to aim for more of the sideline, but just hit the ball a little bit too in the middle and right in Venus's strike zone. Venus will be upset with that one. She had that, she just didn't move up into the court. She needed to take one more step inside the baseline. Caught the ball a little bit too far out in front.
Just a touch too strong from the backhand. The lean in just extended beyond the baseline. As Errani standing up to the throngs. 23,000 when this Arthur Ashe Stadium is filled to capacity. Not quite there, but you know it's pro Venus Williams on her home slam.
Good answer by Venus. He almost likes the deeper ball, I think. Of course, Errani not quite getting the ball off the court there. Venus completely in control of that point. That shot looked a little tentative from Errani. Possibly realizing what the score is, 4-3, such an important game for her to hold here. Couple errors from Errani, setting up break point for Venus.
Magnificent opportunity for Venus Williams. A chance to break and serve for the match in what has been a decidedly uneven and intriguing matchup. After completely lopsided sets, shutouts in 1 and 2, set number 3 has been up to the task of competitiveness, but it's Venus who seizes the upper hand.
And Errani here not really making that many unforced errors, but 3 of them already in that game. And that just shows you the pressure building on her.
Without question, trying to serve to get to 4-all, you bring up a great point, Jill. She's only committed 5 unforced errors in this set, but 3 of them in the 8th game, and it puts her in grave danger. Venus Williams in her 16th U.S. Open, more than any other singles player in either men's or women's draws, serving for a spot in the round of 16. It has been this round that has hurt Venus so much over the last few years. 3 to be exact. 2011, or excuse me, not this round itself. She's gotten past the second round, which she lost in the last 3 years. Now she's trying to reach the second week of a major for the first time since 2011.
What a great return by Errani there.
Venus lost in 2011, second round. 2012, same. 2013, exactly the same. One win and then out here at the US Open, an event she won twice back-to-back, 2000, 2001. Just her second ace, but it comes at a good time. The last time Venus reached the second week of a major was at Wimbledon 3 years ago.
What a smart choice by Venus on that serve. Second serve, took a little bit off it to the backhand side and just really such a good volley into the open court. Didn't rush it.
Well, she went for a lot on her second serve. She really wanted to be authoritative with that offering. Her 8th double fault.
Errani doing a good job of keeping that point going. Venus really moving her around the court, but Errani doing a great job making her play that extra ball.
And saving break point.
Such an impressive play from Venus, especially break point down, serving for the match. No hesitation moving forward.
Venus has found that 3-set matches this season have been her undoing. 9 of her 11 losses have come in a deciding set. She's hoping the next 2 points would erase that trend and put her into week 2. Errani on the day, 5 out of 8 in conversions of break points. Back on serve in set number 3 inside Arthur Ashe Stadium. At stake, a spot in the 4th round. A lady who has a flair for the dramatic, Lady Gaga, New York native, serenading the crowd with applause during the sit-down. You're going to hear a roar if Venus Williams can pull off this 3-set match. But Sara Errani has broken to get us back on serve in this set, and she has stood up mighty tall in the face of what is overwhelming odds if you consider the crowd that is behind Venus Williams here in Arthur Ashe Stadium, a place where Venus has thrived over the years. Venus just getting a little off her game.
I was just going to say, Venus now coming up with the unforced errors when it's close to the end of the match, up 5-4, 5-3. both games coming up with 2 or 3 unforced errors.
And the antithesis of what we thought, if we were to pick one who would get tight in the latter stages of this third set, probably would have picked Errani, but it's Venus who's having the problems. And they continue. As Errani making quick work, marching towards 5-all. She'll be grateful to her opponent, who has helped her out with a bunch of unforced errors in these last 2 games. That one finds the mark.
You know, Errani was probably really disappointed with that 4-3 service game, but credit to her for still competing and still fighting is one of her strengths. But it's a tough situation being down 5-3, but she's done a great job of staying in it.
And perhaps the screw's starting to tighten a little on the side of the Italian. A good little loose on the forehand.
Now we're seeing errors from both players, both nerves coming into play.
Well, I'll tell you what, New York would definitely say they love Venus Williams, but they love good tennis even more. And they applaud Sara Errani. Tremendous pickup. The ability to stay with a point to make it to 5-all.
It's such a great fight from Errani to come back here. Saw she was disappointed losing that game, but really good fight. She's not going away, and that's one of her strengths. She's going to stay out there and compete for every point.
Mentioned that Venus Williams contesting her 16th U.S. Open in her debut. She was runner-up back in 1997. One of the aspects that makes this match so interesting is how much more experience Venus Williams has than Errani on this court. In fact, since Arthur Ashe Stadium opened back in 1997, only one other player, man or woman, has won more matches on this court as Venus seeks her 59th career win inside Arthur Ashe Stadium. I'll bet you can guess who that other person might be. Let's just say the success might run in the family.
I think I have a pretty good guess. I think Venus got away with that one a little bit. Errani didn't have to make it quite that good. Venus being pretty far off the court. Great approach shot here. She really just had the whole court and just tried to make it a little bit too good.
Yeah, it is hard to believe that Errani just right there, oh, she's so good at the net, has such great hands. You know she wants to roll that back a little bit and try to play the point one more time. By the way, it is Serena Williams, younger sister.
Just to make it clear.
Just to make it clear, that has the most wins ever inside Arthur Ashe Stadium with 68. 10 more to this point than older sister Venus. And that is true. That's even more than Roger Federer, 5-time champion.
Wow. I think it is tough to come out here, though. This stadium is so big. It's hard to appreciate if you haven't been here, but it's It can be overwhelming the first time you step out on this court.
Now Venus, a fine hold at love, tells the crowd to come along for the ride. She's either into the 4th round or heading towards a tiebreak in Ash. On paper, it's a simple prospect. Sara Errani, you hold, go to a tiebreak in this deciding set. If she can't hold, that means Venus Williams advances to the round of 16. But Errani has showed she has the moxie and the character to put up a fight, particularly considering she got blanked in the 2nd set. She's been step for step with Venus since.
Again, good job by Venus here, stepping up into the court and again taking that ball out of the air. It's much better than letting that ball bounce. It gives your opponent more time to recover. Much better service game so far from Errani. Just when one player's ahead, the other one tends to come up with a couple errors, letting the opponent back into the match.
Thank you. Please.
Well, it's one of the aspects that makes this final major each year so exciting. The setting of New York, the drama that can unfold inside Arthur Ashe Stadium, the fact that a match can go 6-love and then be matched in the next set by 6-love and then result in a deciding set tiebreak. It can only happen here in New York. As we take a look at the records for the year for both, Williams at 500, Errani just a couple of match wins better, or tiebreaks better, mind you. But this is it.
I think it's only fitting that this 3rd set had to go to a tiebreaker.
On paper, it'll look very intriguing to someone who didn't watch the match, but for those of you who have been with us, it's really turned out to be a thriller. We'll see if Venus Williams indeed can reach the 2nd week of a major for the first time in 3 years as she begins the tiebreak from the north end.
The first few points of the tiebreaker are always so important. Try and get that early lead to keep that pressure on. Already Errani with a mini break off of the first point.
Quick start for Errani, who's trying to move through to face either the 2-seed Simona Halep and Mariana Lucic-Peroni. They are currently on court in the grandstand with Lucic Baroni up a set and a break. But it's Errani who has the upper hand in this tiebreak, trying to pull away from Venus.
Thank you.
Someone not very sportsmanlike calling out in the middle of Errani's serve toss. And trying to shake it off is the Italian. And mini break quickly back to Venus as she'll serve 1-2.
A little bit tentative from both players on this point. Both forehands kind of tight, and then Errani just sailing it a little bit wide. Great job by Venus here. This is definitely going to come down to just staying really focused from both players. Every point counts in this tiebreaker. Really want to try and take 1 point at a time. Stay focused on that 1 point. Fantastic play by Errani here. Saw the opportunity to come in, just great hands. Again, didn't try and do too much, and it was just enough. Venus unable to get there.
Venus at full stride, still with that long gate. Can't close in on the very confident volley of Errani. Has a chance to double her lead before they switch ends. The Italian will have a 4-2 advantage as they swap sides. Errani will head to the north end, Venus going south. And she hopes that's not the trend that will finish off this tiebreaker. Yeah, it was interesting. After finishing as a semifinalist 2 years ago, Jill, Errani came back here and lost in the second round. That's the round that Venus Williams has lost here in New York the last 3 years. So they've each done better than the previous experience in New York City, trying to make that extra step. But there's so much at stake for both. As I mentioned, Venus Williams, since 2011 Wimbledon, hasn't reached the second week of a major. And for Sara Errani, she has never beaten Venus Williams. In fact, entering today, had never even taken a set off of her.
But the depth of women's tennis has just gotten so strong in the last few years that I don't think you can be surprised if someone gets to the semis and all of a sudden has a tough Grand Slam the next time they play a Grand Slam. I just think everyone has gotten so good now that it's pretty open. Venus just showing some frustration, coming up with quite a few errors in this third set tiebreaker so far.
Yeah, the score errant there for a moment, crediting Venus with the point, but it's corrected. Now serving 2-5. Desperate need of picking up this 8th point.
Errani just ended up hitting that ball a little bit too short, and so easy for Venus to step up and hit the winner down the line.
And Errani tries to do too much with the forehand return. And Williams has closed the gap to a single point. But for Sara Errani, not that it's one of her biggest weapons by any stretch, as Errani does indeed go to the chase review, but it was not close. But she has a whole bunch in her pocket. Why not give it a shot? She's going to have a chance to finish it off.
I just get this sense of who's going to step up and take this match. Anytime someone's ahead, you get a couple errors from that player.
And you can see why I said it wasn't exactly one of her all-time strengths, missing by a huge margin, and Venus will feast on the second serve. Yeah, not again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, says Venus. Not going to be burned by the drop shot again.
No, that just, I mean, I think the intention was good, but the drop shot was just a little bit too deep. And Venus, she's so long, she just has to take a couple steps to get there.
And she knew it with the first step. 5-all.
What an unbelievable point at 5-all in a third set tiebreaker. Errani just doing such a good job of covering the net in this point.
And if you're a tennis fan and that did induce a little bit of goosebumps, well, you haven't been enjoying this match at all. Venus serving against Errani's first match point. Well, you know why. She had never taken a set off Venus before in 3 meetings. Well, she's turned that around. And did she turn it around after being shut out in the second set? Sara Errani, the 13th seed, victorious in 3 sets. She's on to the round of 16 in New York.